Cougars are intelligent, studying their targets with patience and care. Cougars are able-bodied, smiting their enemies when least expected. And cougars are determined, as where others have failed, the cougars have triumphed. A cougar's weapons are many. It can see in the dark and smell prey in its proximity with its enhanced senses. It can jump 45 feet and sprint at 50 miles per hour due to its hind legs. It can sever the veins in the necks of its enemies with its razor-sharp teeth. But perhaps the most powerful weapon that a cougar has is the paw. Founded in 1927, the University of Houston is the third largest university in Texas, with nearly 41,000 students. The moniker of the school is the Cougar, which is proudly displayed on the school's campus. The athletic mascots are two cougars named Shasta and Sasha, which have been immortalized as statues in front of the Ezekiel Cullen building. Students often rub the paws of the statues as they pass by, as it is believed to bring good luck to them and the school. While the University of Houston has many traditions, the most popular is the school's hand sign known as the Cougar Paw. The Cougar Paw is created first by extending all fingers before folding down the ring finger and holding it down with the thumb. This hand sign can be made in either hand, but not with both. New students of U of H quickly adopt this hand sign to show their support and school spirit, though the origin of the Cougar Paw is largely unknown. Many rumors have circulated about the meaning of the Cougar Paw, but few know the truth. Let's look at some of these origin stories and separate fact from fiction. When you first hear of this rumor, it sounds plausible. The ring finger could be folded down so that the middle finger and pinky better resembles a U rather than a V. But what about the H? Try as you might, there's no reasonable way to fit an H into the hand sign. Most of the time, cougar paw prints only show 4 claws, leading many to believe that cougars do not have 5 claws. In truth, cougars do have a 5th claw on their front paws. It is called the dew claw, which is located near where the lower palm would be. This claw is also retractable, which is why it doesn't often appear in paw prints. Mudras are hand symbols and gestures often used in the Buddhist and Hindu religions, and have recently been popularized by yoga. The 2 mudras most similar to the cougar paw are the Prithvi and the Agni. While there are many slight differences between these mudras and the cougar paw, one clear contrast is that both mudras are supposed to be done in both hands simultaneously, whereas the cougar paw never should be. So what is the real story behind the cougar paw? To know the paw, we must know some U of H history. Most people associate the cougar mascot Shasta with these guys. In fact, Shasta was a real live cougar that was kept on campus and brought to games.
At the game, she would be brought out on the field in the wagon, and when she got to the sideline, they would take her out on a leash, and she would pace the sideline during the games.
The University of Houston has a storied athletics program. The most popular of their sports teams is their football team, who had a long-standing rivalry with the University of Texas Longhorns. Over 3 decades, the Cougars would meet the Longhorns on the football field 3 times, and it was during these 3 games that led to the creation and adoption of the Cougar Paw. The first game took place in 1953, when Cougar football was still starting off, and the Longhorns were already established.
Of course, that came in 1953 when they were taking Shasta to a game, in fact the UT game, and they were getting her out and she caught her toe and it got trapped in the door and she was injured.
Well, we had Shasta, the real cougar, as the mascot. The story has it that the paw was caught in a cage and it was cut off. And then they were making fun of us with this symbol during the game, and they actually beat us.
It would be 15 years before the two teams met again. Still, the Cougars had not forgotten what happened the first time.
Well, what happened is later, about 15 years later, U of H was playing UT again, and they were making fun of us again, and we tied the score, and the game ended 20-20. Well, students, faculty, administrators said, well, this is maybe a good thing if they're making fun of us, so we're going to start using this.
Yeah. Finally, in 1976, the two teams met a third time in a match that would solidify the Cougars as a force in football and would ultimately cement the paw as the symbol of the Cougars.
In 1976, we had joined the Southwest Conference, and no one thought that we would do anything because we were the babies, we were the newcomers, and we went on at that time to finally tie for co-champions of the Southwest Conference that year. But what's so interesting was the Dad's Day Massacre.
The unprecedented victory ended the Longhorns' winning streak and brought glory to the school. Over these 3 games, the role of the Cougar paw was reversed, and this new meaning would stick with the Cougars from that day forward. What was once used as a symbol of mockery was transformed over 23 years into a symbol of perseverance, triumph, and most importantly, pride.
Today, it is a symbol of our pride of being Cougars and to communicate with each other. And if you are a Cougar and you see a Cougar and you flash that paw, they automatically will respond, and they'll say, "Go Cougs," or "Eat 'em up Cougs," or something. So it developed into a pride of being a member of the student body at the University of Houston. And it solidified on Dad's Day game during the Southwest Conference era.
Cougars are intelligent, studying their targets with patience and care. Cougars are able-bodied, smiting their enemies when least expected. And Cougars are determined. As where others have failed, the Cougars have triumphed. A Cougar's weapons are many. As part of a Tier 1 university, a U of H Cougar is at the forefront of research and technology. As part of a celebrated athletics division, a U of H Cougar is one of the most feared and admired athletes in Texas. As part of one of the most racially diverse universities in America, a U of H Cougar is the most ready to conquer the world. But perhaps the most powerful weapon that a Cougar has is the hand. Go Cougs!